Hello everyone and welcome back to the King of the Hill channel with another series. This time we are actually looking at the first series of Bloons King of the Hill Season 20, which I recently announced. If you have not seen that, we've actually decided to start a Discord server where people are free to join, whether or not you want to participate on the rankings. You can also be there just to hang out and make some fun with other old King of the Hill players. Or actually still active King of the Hill players, doesn't really matter. So yeah, for season 20 the starting map is Hydro Dam as it was back in season 7, and on the left side we see Ho Honey and on the right side we see Snap Snakes. Ho Honey actually known as less on Discord, also has been on the King of the Hill channel as Dart Atomic, and Snap Snakes also known as Andrew, also known as Asnaptic, which has also been on the King of the Hill channel before. Nothing much to say, maybe introduce myself for the people who don't know me. I've been on the King of the Hill channels a couple of times. I've actually started playing back in season 7 under the name of K. Rojakkers, or as I would pronounce it in Dutch, K. Rojakkers. So my first series on the King of the Hill channel was commentated by Harry Kings, and it was against Tuttle Family, which you all might have known and might know from Maelstrom the Bloody Moabs. I've uploaded a couple of videos in the King of the Hill channel too, have been a manager, I think in season 7 or maybe in 8, I don't really recall, and because I think I actually quit around season 8 or maybe season 9, I'm not so sure. But that's enough about me, that's enough about the plays that we are looking at right now. I think what we are actually looking at is that two players have 2-0 ninjas, let's actually go for a 3-1 ninja right now, and also have a mortar, which is going to imply that they are both probably going to go for farms. And Hydra actually, I think it is a very interesting map, because it's one of the only maps where you're kind of forced to go for boomerang, because texture is just awful here, because there's no good ring of fire spot. Which makes it interesting. I think Boomer gets lots more intensity than Tech Shooter for rounds like round 13, round 15, because the combo rushes are just way harder to defend here. And of course it also gives some kind of unique defenses round 18, round 20 and 22. So I think Hydro Dam is actually a great starting map. We know that a lot of people like to go for farms over here, and there's also kind of a diversity in farms, because you can go for like almost a farm start with 250 economy, which players like, I believe, Arden Ellis actually like to do. Then you have a lot of farms, you're probably not aiming for late game, but you're trying to get as many farms as possible and go for like a massive round 20 or 22 rush. And then you can go for like mixed economy, where you're actually going to for like 500 economy, and then after like round 16 you're going to increase your economy to maybe like 1k, which is then implying that you're definitely aiming for the defense and not for actually some sort of counter. And you can go for the one in between, where you go for 400 to 500 economy. You're just building up farms, and it's kind of the safe side, where you can just go and play however you kind of want. Because rebuilding farms is kind of easy with 400 to 500 economy, and because rebuilding farms is so easy, you're less vulnerable to rush it than when you go for 250 economy, or for example. Yeah, what we're seeing right now is that Andrew is actually leaking a lot to the yellows, leaking down to 38, 37, 36 lives. Yeah, and actually looking at this, we both see that, Andrew is getting up his Ricochet, which is a smart decision, because Les could actually exploit this or try to exploit it by sending, for example, region Zebras. Now Les got also his Ricochet up, and Andrew is trying to annoy him by sending some regular Zebras. That's not going to kill either players, because neither of those rushes it's region. So not sure if that's a smart decision. Andrew actually leaking down to 7 lives, not sure where that came from, and it would surprise me if neither of the players goes for a rush. So the rush is coming right now. We can see that Les is actually going for a turbocharge, and Andrew is sticking with his defense as it is, and that's going to be the GG for Andrew, because Andrew was actually trying to play very smart and I don't think that either player that. Okay, where should we start? Okay, so first of all, we saw Les actually went for the turbocharge, which almost caused him to lose the game, because the turbocharge actually got overwhelmed, and that caused the rush to become like very fast. You roll a lot of yellows, and you also had a lot of pinks, and those are definitely more faster than zebras, which I think Andrew was aiming for, because sending the roll on this side were just zebras, which are generally slower, and he was not trying to get those down to the pinks, because that would cause the Bloons to run, to have a high chance to run for his defense faster than on the left side. So, not sure. I think both players had the farm economy, had the money to actually defend all in, but both had apparently the same thing in mind, to go both for a rush. So that led to some kind of awkward situation where both players had to react to each other's rush. So okay, it's maybe nice to let you all know that Les actually edited this video for me, and by that I mean that he removed the tower selection screen, or actually that we can see the towers, and there should be some space in between the games where I can actually talk about what happened last game, and so we're not immediately jumping into the next game. What I want to say is that I still need to get used to this whole commentating thing. It's been a while since I've actually done a commentary like this, and what's mostly very how do you say that? Can't come up with a word with, but when you see Harry's videos, you see that it's very well edited, because Harry, I believe, he watched the videos before and then he edits it, and once he's done editing, he commentates it, which I think Harry is one of my definitely favorite commentators, because of this editing, and it fits his commentary so well. Wait, what am I not even talking about? We were talking about Harry commentating. Oh, that he is editing his videos, but that he just sounds so cool, and he puts a lot of time into trying to go for some cool analysis, as the tactical analysis, and it really fits well. He's also observing the game very well and actually commentating what's happening. But yeah, that's a little bit difficult for me, because I'm just literally commentating a series which has been sent to me, and I'm editing it before, trying to see if it's actually working out. I don't know, but we are looking at Zen Garden right now, one of my favorite maps, because you cannot fit a bunch of farms, but you have more than enough space to go for late game. AI is kind of tricky on this map, which I like, but it's not impossible to defend or anything. Ring of Ice was also kind of nice on this map. Like everything is it's not too difficult, but it's difficult enough to give you some interesting games. And personally, when I just joined King of the Hill, I love to go for boat on this map and put some boats, 2 grape shots in the top pools, and then make the target close. And if you're actually leaking a lot, then you can just get up a ninja in the back to save some lives, which is important if you're going to balloon economy. And back in season 7, people also sometimes went for a bomb, which is another balloon economy income strategy, which I kind of like, but I don't think it has much hope to be used anymore in the King of the Hill series. Buccaneer, probably the same story. I think personally that boat has more chances to survive than Bomb does, and that's mainly because Bomb has a very hard time defending around 15, if not to say that it's almost impossible, that it's impossible to Bomb simply without sacrificing your economy to a certain extent that late game just becomes impossible to defend. Not watching the chat, not sure if they're actually saying something interesting, some banter going on, but I'm not so satisfied with the lives right now, because Andrew and Les both have low lives, which is actually kind of interesting for the commentary though, because that means that they are probably both vulnerable to rushes, and I hope to see it. I hope to see a lot of rushes and pro gameplays, but round 20s and stuff. That's the coolest thing in my opinion. Both sending BFBs, and then just look at who is going to defend the best. So for round 10, people get up a 0-0 ninja and make a target strong. So what it does is it actually pops the black layer, and what then happens is the pink layers get inside range of your ring of fire, and then they will be popped down to, of course, lower layers which are slower, and therefore they will stay longer in range of the ring of fire, instead of if you would just let the ring of fire pop the black layer, then a pink will come out. So that's a very fast balloon, and will have an easier time getting out of the range of the ring of fire. So what we can see is actually that Les decided to put his ninja in a different position, opposed to Andrew, and I do honestly agree with Les position, Les spot, because it's first of all not so vulnerable when your opponent sends auto balloons, for example zebras, or for example whites, which is commonly done to drain some lives, because your ninja will target the strongest balloons and actually not focus on. And we can see the rush actually, and Andrew is sending a farm. It are 4 region ceramics which are not going to kill him. Now we see a counter rush by Andrew. Here's going to be a blade maelstrom. These are 4-5 ceramics. Is Les going to die? He's going to get up a 3-2 ninja, and he actually will die, but it will cost him all of his farms. Leak down to 27 lives. He's going to get up his farms as soon as possible, but we can see that he is at a pretty big disadvantage. And right now the question is actually, is there a difference between Bloon economy of both players? Because if there is, then I've not paid attention to the game, as you may have noticed. Yeah, honestly, this is definitely going to end round 18, knowing both players. I would honestly not agree with going all out on round 80, because Moabs are just easily killable with a maelstrom. But honestly, either players will just train. Sending Moabs, I'm not sure. We have to find out what's going to happen right now. Definitely, I'm sure that both players know what they're doing, that they actually can defend a Moab. Okay. I'm not agreeing with that tech support, because that's not effective at all against Moabs. It just doesn't have a lot of time, and I would agree with less spots. Sorry, throat is a little bit dry. So neither player actually decides to go for a Moab. Actually, as I said that, Les is going to send a Moab. So here it comes. It's actually not layered with the AI, and that's, I think, a huge mistake. And okay, maybe it's just perfectly timed. He's going to go for a maelstrom. Does that defend? And it does defend as expected. Maybe if he sent, I would recommend it to send that Moab just a few seconds later, because then the shurikens of the Bloons TD ninja would actually be distracted from the AI. So Les going for a supporting ninja, going for a flash bomb to support the AI. Andrew not sending BFBs, neither does Les. We see Andrew the leak, but I think he doesn't. So we see 3 tech sprays placed at the front, and let's be honest, if there's gonna be BFB right now, interesting decision, because those tech sprays are not gonna do a lot of damage to the AI Moab, and therefore I think, what's Les doing? He's going for sabotage supply lines. He's going to sabotage right now, sabotage at 27, which means that, here's the counter rush. It's going very fast right now. Andrew actually sold his ring of fire to go for maelstroms, and I'm not sure what Les is doing. He's going for maelstroms. Andrew is going for maelstroms, double actually, and that does not defend surprisingly to the Moabs. Very surprised by that actually, because I was thinking that Andrew actually got that game back, considering that Andrew, expecting 1 BFB shouldn't be that big of a problem. especially with double Maelstrom. I would expect, first of all, the mobile players to be bloody Maelstromed, and then second of all, the Bloons to get Maelstrom. But okay, those games go fast, man. Hard to commentate, honestly. And if you're wondering what I'm actually doing, I'm just picking a couple of grapes and eating them because they are very tasty. I'm not gonna lie. So the score is actually 1-1, and Les decided to pick Ice Flow. And as a matter of fact, I know that Les is very good at Ice Flow. Oh, actually, he very much likes this map, and I think he's also very good at this map. Probably as a greedy player. I feel like we've practiced this map a lot together, and based on most of those games, I think that Les is actually great at playing this map greedy, but that usually causes him to be down once too. So let's see how this. Oh, now I wanted to say let's see how this goes, but it's not going. This is not looking good for Les already because he's down lives. How many lives actually? Oh, even more lives. Pro gameplay right over here on the King of the Hill channel. So I'm not sure what's happening right now because Andrew also leaked 2 lives. Les trying to play this out greedy. I'm not sure, or was it just a mistake? Yeah, I don't know. But Les is making his boat between the ice rocks hit first, so that's making that boat chase a lot, and we can see that indeed it chases a lot and Les loses a lot of lives, opposed to Andrew, who is surviving much better. So just a personal tip, the boat near the ice rock make it target last, but I think that's classic, and then for the other boat just make it target only strong. That's my personal preference. It will of course leak some lives, but I personally would love to leak only like 3 lives and then not get my boat to chase, instead of getting it chased, because when chase is exploited you're hardly going to recover from it. So Andrew actually going for the 3rd grape really early, which I do honestly not understand. The life difference is very big, and therefore he could have been a little bit more greedy. I really hope that you don't hear me eating grapes, because yeah, that would be kind of awkward. So we can see a small. Okay, there we go. The video is suddenly sped up, which is I guess nice. So does either player get up to burning stuff early? And what it looks like, neither of the players does get up burning stuff, but Andrew does get up a 1-0 Mora. He's got up the burning stuff right now. It's also almost going a bit too fast. I'm not sure why, but still. Really difficult to commentate this. So yeah, honestly, this is just way too fast to commentate. So I think we are just going to talk about, I guess, random ice flow facts. So both players just having 3 grape shot boats, which is enough to defend round 15, almost not have lost. And also both players going for a round 3 mortar. Round 18, okay. So both players sending economy, and implying that they both are not going for a mob rush. They might go for a mob rush in round 19, because then AI Lads will be in the way for Maelstrom at the very bottom or top of the map, on the top, on the left side, and on the bottom of Andrew's side. So it looks like no more is coming, and this is going to win the game. But what I was saying is that 3 Buccaneers are enough for round 15. Shouldn't get more up. If you like to play greedy, then you might as well go for 2 grape shots and get a 0-0 boat, and once being rushed you can just get up another grape. So right here we can see round 20 AI, just get up another grape and make it target strong. So this is actually a great round to exploit your opponent. Les going for a big loss, which is a decision I really much like. Oh, entry actually leaked also a lot, because around 21 the AI does contain a lot of camos and you have to change the point of your mortar. So for round 20, if you send a Moab, then your, what's it called, your Buccaneers are going to actually talk to Moab instead of the ceramics, and that will force your opponent to go for a Maelstrom to neutralize the AI Bloons. Then you of course can follow that up by some kind of weird camo exploit to make it even more difficult for the mortar. And for 21, just a camo exploit is a nice way to get actually lives off your opponent. Both players are going for the hook down ability on round 23, which is I think the way to go as of now. But honestly, it doesn't matter a whole lot. You could also go for, I think hooking is easier because it might save some. Oh, whoa, this is going fast. It's going really fast. Okay, Les didn't die to AI, that's a good thing, because that was kind of a bit tricky. Oh, Andrew leaking more lives. Andrew actually choosing to go for a different Bloons TD spot than Les does. And I don't know which one is better. I think that Les actually has a very nice Bloons TD spot, and I personally prefer to go for Graveshot spam, because Graveshot spam does not only help with the Moabs, but also helps to catch the leaks easier and also helps to shred down the ceramic layers of the ceramics coming out of the Moabs earlier. So Les has the defender's rush, and the rush is actually coming right now around 24, which is early, and I don't know if Andrew actually has the infrastructure to defend AI Bloons. He has the 4 sabos, so he can definitely sabo this, and from now you will mostly see only BFBs, so for Andrew it's fine. But let's look at Les, because this rush started off very early and he was not prepared yet, and he seems to have trouble actually fitting the farm, fitting the boats. I would just get Buccaneers as fast as possible, because that's the most important thing. Looks like one of the ZOMGs actually sabo glitched, and I don't know if Les already noticed that, but he has to solve that thing, because otherwise that thing is going to run right for his defense. Getting up more Graveshot boats, all of them seem to target first, which is a decision I agree on, because making your boats target first, because if they would target strong, then they would target the last ZOMG, because the last ZOMG has the most health. So the first ZOMG still having the sabo glitch, very annoying and unfortunate for Les. Around 36, it's not halfway damage yet. So this is going to be very sabo glitch, yes indeed. This is going to be very, how do you say, not intense, but sort of intense. Like he's going to hook the BVs right now, and he needs to do that. ZOMG is halfway damaged, so that's a good thing for Les, but I don't see him defending this at all. So interesting to see what's going to happen. It's actually at 75% of his health right now, so it might be intense. If I were Les, then I would go for like 4 hook down a bit this as soon as possible, so when that ZOMG breaks you can immediately hook all of those BFBs and you lose no time. So I hope he's going to do that, otherwise I'm wondering how he's going to defend. He's going for mortar stalls, which obviously he needs to do, but still get up those hook downs. Get up those hook downs, you need them. Go for the hook downs. Go for the hook downs, mate. Go for the hook downs. Go for the hook. No. That's why I said go for the hook downs, lads. Because when you had the hook downs, you could hook all the 4 BFBs instantly and have no troubles. But then another ZOMG broke down. His hook downs went for the closest BFBs, which are the ZOMG which broke us last, and then he couldn't hook the BFBs from the first ZOMG anymore. I don't know if he had the money for that, but either way, just go for the 4 hook downs when you're in such a devastating position. Because I remember playing against Les, being in sort of the same situation where the ZOMG is very far, and honestly you don't have the time to micro 4 separate hook downs. So just, and especially for the newbies who find themselves having difficulty with microing, just go for abilities which are already present, so you have an easier time actually microing, because if you just know what you're doing and you can very well read when the ZMG is going to break down, you can anticipate very early on that. And you can also, it's also a bit of feeling, because you need to have a feeling and experience to know when that ZMG is going to pop. And if you know that it's almost definitely going to pop at the last corner, then what you can do is prepare for that, getting up those hookings. But anyway, score being 2-1 for Andrew, and here we can see that Les is going for ice, whereas Andrew is going for the 3-0 bomb and does farm. I'm not sure where this will go to. I'm not sure. I think that Les is going for ice, which I do love a lot. If I have to choose between tech and ice, I would definitely choose ice, because I just like the blue color more than the pink color. That's honestly my only reason to go for ice tower. But strategically seen, I think that tech is just easier to go for non-life lost instead of the ice, because ice has the possibility to derp on rounds like round 11, it can derp on round 8, and the round I hate the most is rounds like round 12 and 13, because with ice you sometimes have the weird glitch where if your ice tower freezes a black balloon and you aim your mortar on top of that frozen black balloon, then the mortar will actually only affect one balloon, even if there's a lot of other balloons also frozen. It will only pop one, and that's actually the reason why sometimes decaramelizing balloons is so difficult when you have mortar and ice combination. But for round 8 you will usually get up a 1-1 mortar supported by, okay, there we see the ninja derp, I mean the ice derp, and less leaking a whole region white. But yeah, what I want to say is, if you go for ice, then just get a 1-1 mortar and just 1-0-0 ninja. And what Les is doing good, he's placing the 0-0 mortar actually a bit on top of his ninjas, so there's no huge region farming going on. Andrew actually playing it a bit greedy, going for a couple of 0-0 ninjas. 3 is probably the least you want to get, because round 8 later in can be very deadly, is less ninja. The bottom one is very far down, so if blacks actually pass the first ninja, then there's hardly any way to catch up. So far, pretty good farming from Andrew. Also good balloon economy from Les's side. So for round 13, if you're going for ice, you I think could technically go for the double cluster bomb. Then you need the bigger blast on your mortar. If you go for the 1-3 mortar, then I think it's better to go for a 4-0 bomb or 4-2 preferably if you can afford. So what Andrew is doing, he's going for a second cluster bomb to defend the balloon economy that actually Les is sending at him. I don't know if the second cluster bomb is really necessary. It does indeed help, but if you get up a few 0-0, oh, we see a ceramic getting sent by Andrew, but Les actually got up the balloon impact in time, and with that ice, that thing is going to do absolutely nothing. So yeah, I was talking about the cluster bomb decision, because yeah, against blacks it is very helpful, but you could possibly also get away with getting a 3-2 cluster bomb and just get like 1 or 2 extra ninjas, maybe get a 2-1 ninja up or a 2-0 ninja, because all you have to do is get rid of the black layers, which is not actually that hard, that difficult, just getting up a few extra ninjas, which might be cheaper than going for another cluster bomb. So Andrew actually leaking, another option would also be just going for bigger blast, because then you're sure that actually all of the balloons will be popped. So far not really anything interesting happening. We see that Andrew actually is preparing, going for the 3rd tier farm, which means that he's going to get the Bloons research facility very soon. No Moab being sent, kind of unfortunate, because that would make it a bit more interesting. Region Moabs, I think, were actually kind of deadly on this map. I'm not so sure if that's actually what killed Ice. Like, Ice is such a while ago. I'm honestly unsure why people decided to not go for Ice anymore. Is it because it was hard to actually go for another loss with it against another Bloon income player, or was it because there was a major flaw against farms? Well, unfortunately I don't know the answer. I wish I had the answer to that. So we can see that Andrew actually got up his Bloons research facility. Also got up a Bloon impact. Not so sure if I agree with that decision, because Bloon he sold, not sure. Okay, that looked very scary. I'm not sure what Andrew was doing, but he actually made a mistake by selling his Mob Mauler. What I want to say is that he sold he got a Bloon impact instead of a Bloon Situ. I think Bloon Situ is cheaper than Bloon impact, and the thing is, against the AI surround, you will need that Bloon Situ for around 23, whereas you can wait getting up that Bloon impact until around 25. So honestly, I would prefer going for the Ninja, because it's cheaper and you will definitely need it earlier than your Bloon impact, but whatever works out. So for around 26 you can get away with 3 Maulers, but for around 27 I would definitely recommend getting up a 4th Mob Mauler, which Andrew actually did. And also, just a little tip, get up that extra cluster bomb when you have that Bloon impact. It really does help you. So wait, I missed something completely, because for some reason Les actually went for Arctic Wind, and now also goes for Ice Shards. Okay, weird decision, but I think it works, and he definitely has the money for it with Bloon economy, whereas Andrew still needs to increase his farm economy, and he has 6 BRFs total, which is a fine amount. He's gonna be able to send actually a very good rush late game, and Les will have a lot of trouble defending that, but he's going to build up his Mob Mauler arsenal right now, and going to place some Ice Shots in between, which is a good decision. I honestly like the way when you mix your defense up a bit, I think it's a great decision to actually go for like some balloon popping power in between halfway the track, because the first few CMGs, and the first CMG is coming right, entering the field right now. It's nice to be able to pop the balloons as soon as possible, because Mob Maulers are not the greatest balloon popping power existing on Earth. What we can see is that Les actually went for regular Mob Maulers rather than going for Mob Maulers, which also have the frag bombs, and frag bombs does a lot of extra damage. So I think I would recommend it definitely get up the 2-3 Maulers, not the 3-0 only. So I hope we can see actually that Ice Shots in action, because that would be lovely. Until around 36 the balloons will still be regular, or at around 36 they will be super ceramics, which then ice shot will become less effective. So the balloons should be frozen. There we go, and that means that we can see ice shots in action. Maybe it's not the greatest popping power anymore, but it can still deal a lot of damage, as you see that those BFBs actually got a lot of damage from the ice shots, I think. Whoa, ice shots still doing work. So this is actually working out really well for Les, but the most important things about late game is getting up those sabotage supply lines and sabotage every 15 seconds. So if you're a beginner, then I would recommend you to just remember that you have to sabotage at every 0 second, every 15th second. Les choking something right over here. I'm not so sure. This is not looking good for him at all. But going for the epic every 15 second, 30 second, 45 second, and then again 0 second. And then about mortar stalls, which is also a crucial part of the game. Just remember that mortar stalls affect ZMGs for, I believe, 2 seconds, BFBs for 4 seconds, and MOB for 6 seconds. Well, the take-home message being here that there is a difference in stalling time which the mortar stall has on different kind of blimps. So if you can wait. If you can wait a second before the BFBs turn into MOBs, then I would definitely recommend to first break into BFBs and then use your mortar stall on MOBs, because the MOBs will be stalled longer and it will be more effective than just stalling BFBs. Because when you stall BFB, it breaks down the effective 4 seconds will still be applied to the BFB, and therefore you will get fast MOBs out of it, and you're forced to stall again, which is not what you want, because stalling costs a lot of money and also causes a lot of panic and unnecessary micro. So not sure if Les actually keeping track of this timing, but then the third recipe for late game is that you keep on increasing your models if possible, because you can see the ZMGs are getting tougher, are getting further and further as we progress, and at the back you don't actually have any popping power left, and it's hard to get rid of the balloons, and also hard to get rid of the MOB players anymore. So it looks like Les is actually struggling, and Andrew is actually struggling a lot more with the BFB, which is probably lag. I cannot imagine that's literally going through Andrew's defense right now. Probably lag and some sabo glitch. If he's going for mortar stalls right now, it's way too late. But okay, I'm just going to ignore what's on Andrew's side right now and focusing completely on Les side, which we can see there are BFBs, and we hope for him that those BFBs break very early, because what I just said about those using those mortar stalls, if you use a mortar stall on one BFB and BFB breaks, then the MOBs come out and they will not be slowed down as long, so you need another mortar stall. So for each BFB you break, you need probably 2 mortar stalls. If those BFBs break like in intervals of like half seconds after each other, then you need a lot of mortar stalls to actually get permanent, the MOBs sort of permanently stalled. So it's looking kind of good for Les. It's still around 37, so it's still going to be very hard and difficult to defend his rush. If he can get more MOB maulers, that's what I would absolutely recommend. But I think he's running low on money. He's actually selling MOB maulers right now on the top, because he thinks that the MOB maulers at the top are not effective, and I could agree with that decision, because most of the ZMGs sent right now will not make it to the end anymore. They are just there to distract the first few. The newly sent ZMGs are just to distract the MOB maulers from targeting the first ZMGs. So the one in the top left corner should be sold, because those don't have any function anymore. So one of the ZMGs actually very far to the back, also MOBs very far to the back. So probably the pro game's move right now is just to use a few assassins, breaking down those layers, so you can actually focus on mortar stalling BFBs, because then you're just saving yourself a bit of time. The question is, will this ZMG actually break? because then there's possibility that less is going to defend. We see round 38, which means that a lot of region ceramics are actually coming in, which should not be a huge problem because less can stall those without any problems. The CMG actually broke down. And you can see that Andrew is definitely not going to die to the AI, so it's completely up to Les whether or not he is able to actually stall this to round 30. Further, we don't see any ZMGs, so probably those ZMGs will actually be stalled to around 30. So the question is, can Les actually stall? Does he have enough money to defend and stall those blimps? The BVs, it looks like the BVs are going to break down. It's going to cause massive problems and forces Andrew to go off. That forces Les to go for actually a lot of mortar stalls. It looks like the BVs are getting even further, and this is really an uncomfortable position to be in for Les. So what's going to happen? He has to stall very quickly, sell all of his models, I would honestly say. Is that the BV of round 29? No, I don't think so. So we are not even halfway right now of 29. The ZMG is also actually getting pretty far. Andrew going to send some ceramics, which is a good decision because newly spawned ceramics will obviously not yet be affected by the mortar stall. The CMG is actually passing the BFBs, it looks like. And where is the BFB? Where is the end signal of round 39? I don't see it. So honestly, right now, whoa, it's going very fast. It's lagging actually like crazy. Don't know what Les is doing. Spamming the abilities, and then we see the BFB. So we know that this halfway around 29. And Les does not have a lot of money left, and he's actually leaking right now. If he leaks below Andrew's lives, that would be kind of oh, he's still leaking. One more life leaking, 9 more lives leaking down to 38 lives, and I think this lag is just going to kill him because no, there's no way, no. What are you doing, Les? Solo your defense, don't lag out, mate. You can do this. Maybe sell your lagging towers. No, whoa, what are you doing? You're going for a bomb. That's not a good decision. Stall those BFVs. Stop. Kind of unfortunate. Wanted to see him defend this actually. It was looking very good with actually defending it very well, with having that eye shots positioned a little bit in between those maulers, being very effective to help with defeating those early ZMGs. But eventually, just having to stall too much, probably also not timing your sabotage too well, because I saw him buying and sending a lot of sabos in between. Eventually also not extending your mauler arsenal to the bottom of the map, which is also crucial to get rid of those blimps on the bottom of the map, because the top maulers will not affect those blimps anymore. So next map being Snowy Castle, and honestly I am not an expert at Snowy Castle, not gonna lie. I still use Bloon Economy here because I just hate farms. Like on maps like these, I prefer Bloon Economy, because I also don't know how to farm. If I would go farms, then I would definitely just go late game, because I have just no clue how to rush with farms. So then I would rather have a more difficult defend and make it challenging than going for farms and have it almost guaranteed going to go for late game. Some people rather rush Bloon Economy around 20 to 22 than farms, I believe. So at the tower selection screen, we could actually see the towers that Les picked. And Andrew, I'm a bit confused because they both had farms. So why are they actually putting their ice tower in the middle of the map? Because that's where you want your farms to be. Both also starting off with Bloon income. This is the problem. I'm just not an expert at Snowy Castle. I think this is actually the strategy which Simone Sir invented, which requires a bank Interesting strategy. I still don't know how to execute it. I think you get your bank up around 15 and then you dispose it on around 33 and then go for like some kind of insane rush with full school on BFBs or something. It would be interesting to see if actually both players are going for the same strategy. I don't think so. I think that Andrew's actually going for a blue economy strategy, whereas Les is actually going for a farm strategy. So, yeah. Oh, honey, you could have sped this up properly. I have honestly no clue what to talk about this. So, this is where I might be talking just about Snowy Castle in general, which is also, like in my opinion, like Hydra and Zen Garden, it can be quite adverse in strategies. I think that Snowy Castle is actually the exception where you even have more strategies you can use, because ice, farm, tech, mortar or something is viable. Viable to rush at least, probably not for late game or anything. You have mortar, attack, ninja and also farm. I personally then swap out the farm and go for Buccaneer. You could also go as a Marcus Aswiki for tech shooter, village, ninja and did I say village? Village, mortar, ninja and tech. Why would you go for a village and mortar, you may ask yourself? That's because something like village glitch exists. And actually I've played around with village tech a lot on this map. And the 2-1 village is actually really powerful with tech sprays. It surprises me how easily it breaks down mobs and BFBs. But still, what you can also see is that instead of going for the ninja, people are going then for no mortar, and they also do not go for the ninja. And they get ice village, spy factory and tech, which probably doesn't defend. How do you call it? Farm rushes very well because we have no Sebo, which makes things terribly difficult. I don't honestly know if it ever defended round 22. I've done a lot of research into that, trying to find ways how to defend it. There are so many possibilities actually to come up with. You can go for Ring of Fire and go for shots, or you can go for the BIA and just BIA and go for some Arctic Wind, but then you still need to get rid of the moral players, which is, as far as I know, only possible if you're Maelstroming, and Maelstrom and Ice is just an unlucky combo which you can't do anything against. So we're finally arriving at the more interesting rounds, because up to round 12, especially with the current meta strategies, you don't see a lot of variation except what I was talking about on Hydro, that one farmer might go for a farm start and the other one might go for mixed economy or just for the 500 economy. Andrew actually, wait. It's only that I just realized that Andrew has showed 3 of his towers. And wait, what? Okay, so Andrew actually sold his stack spray to go for a rough and different location and now placing ice towers around it, and that is what I think not a great defense against Camel. Oh, okay. I was scared. So I'm kind of losing my mind because we see that Andrew only showed 3 of his towers. Ice, tech and mortar if I didn't miss anything. And that's kind of surprising. I did not expect it. I wonder what his 4th is. Is it something like Dart? But yeah, he also switched his tech sprayer and went for a Ring of Fire in a different location and then surrounds it with ice. He only has a 1-3 mortar though, which is very vulnerable to Camel Ceramics. So if Les would go for all out camo ceramics right now, I don't see him defending that, because first of all, we talked about that ice glitch on temple with the mortar, and it could definitely happen right now as well. The chances are small, just because the ice tower surround ring of fire, and the ring of fire is most likely going to pop the black layer just in time, but there is that chance that you're unlucky. And in general, I don't think that small blast covers the entire castle, so camo ceramics are actually very dangerous. And if the camo ceramics actually passes by your mortar, then what will happen is that the ice towers cannot catch the ceramic. Also, when the ceramic is actually popped, like it's frozen but then it's popped, then the rainbows that will come out are very fast. So I personally prefer to go for like a 0-1 ice tower at least, because then the balloons which will come out are at least for one layer slower, and it really helps, especially for maps like in the pools. I definitely recommend it. But yeah, in this case, it could also help maybe get 1-1, because then you have extra range and also faster shooting. And what I personally love then is to get maybe a 2-1 or maybe 2-2, because the thing with 2-1 is snap freeze pops black balloons, and something which pop black balloons cannot freeze black balloons. And if you can follow my logic, then you can be entirely sure that the mortar glitch will not happen. So round 23 is actually coming, and we can see that Les has a lot of tech sprays ready, and we can see his 4th tower right now, and it is actually a ninja. I don't know why he hid that. He did it for so long. So Les, you placed your finger. Oh, okay, that maelstrom was not close enough to the track in my opinion. Bloons sabotage actually coming right now, and Andrew going for tech sprayers, which I don't think is effective enough. You need to maelstrom those Moabs, and you have ice towers. Mate, sell those ice towers. They are not going to be effective. So here's the first maelstrom. You need God Tier and Micro right now. That's the second maelstrom, but the balloons are frozen in the ardent way. So what's Andrew actually going to do? It looks like he's dying. He is dying. Okay. Not sure what the score just was, because I thought that actually Les was down 3-2. Why? Wait. Let me check the recording actually. Okay, he lost Ice Flow, he lost Temple, he won Hydro, he won Zen. Oh, okay. So Les actually winning this series 3-2. Okay, nice last game. Bit with voice hits. Not sure what Andrew was going for in that series or in that last game, because it's very difficult to defend fast cooldown BFBs. Honestly, I would just go for a lot of Bloons TD ninjas. Just Bloons TD 4-0. Because then you can pop multiple layers, I think up to 4 BFBs at once, whereas your tech sprayers are going to cause the BFBs to be popped unevenly. And when you pop them at the same time, you don't need to maelstrom as much as you would need to when you're actually popping them one by one with tech sprayers.